Hello student. In last video we have seen the concept of evolution and the theory of evolution. And according to this, we understood that evolution is an everlasting process of changes. That is step by step the changes are seen in the living organisms and evolution takes place. For that process, so many generations had been passed. So evolution is an everlasting process of changes that was proved in the theory of evolution. But to prove this theory of evolution, this theory needs proofs to prove it. So here there are various proofs available in support of this theory, and we are going to study about these proofs. That is the evidence of evolution. Evolution ही एक ओव्हरलास्टिंग प्रोसेस आहे चेंजेसची. पिढ्यानपिढ्या ती घडत आलेली आहे. आणि ही जी थिअरी आहे तिला प्रूव्ह करण्यासाठी काही प्रूफ्सची आवश्यकता होते. ते प्रूफ्स इथं दिलेले आहेत. त्यांनाच आपण काय म्हणतो evidence of evolution. So these proofs are or these evidences are morphological evidences. 6 types of evidences have been given in your book. So the first evidence is morphological evidences. Second one is anatomical evidences. Third one is vestigial organs. Fourth one is paleontological evidences. Then connective links and embryological evidences. So we are going to study about all these 6 evidences which are given in the support of the proof of theory of evolution, which is an everlasting process of changes. So the first proof we are going to study about, that is the morphological evidences. As we are studying animals and plants, we see there are various similarities in the various types of animals and various types of plants. These similarities are seen in the structure of mouth, position of eyes, structure of nostrils, ear pinna, thick distal hairs on a body in animals. While as in plants, we see their lip shapes, lip venation, lip petiole, and all these are indicating that they must be have a same origin and they must be have a common ancestors. Now we are watching some pictures here. Here some pictures are shown in a above line. The pictures of animals. These are the faces of 3 animals. First is a face of dog, then sheep, then fox. Now look at the position of their eyes, then structure of their nostrils, structure of their mouth, air pinna, all are having thickly disturbed here on their bodies. So what they indicates? They indicates that if they are different animals, but their morphological appearance is showing so many common things or so many similarities in that. Just below that, there are three pictures of plants: mango tree, chiku tree. Okay, all this in all these plants, we are noticing that their lip shapes are same. Lip venation is the same. Look at the petiole; these are also same. So all these similarities are indicates that these plants have same origin and they have common ancestors. The second evidence of evolution is anatomical evidence. Now we are watching so many animals and their limbs, that is a human hand, foreleg of ox, pedicem of bat, and flipper of whale. They are very different. They showing these organs showing very different outer structures. According to their use, human hand is developed for picking some things, for pulling some objects. Foreleg of ox is developed for walking. Pedicem of bat is developed for flying. Flipper of whale is developed for swimming. All these are showing different structure. Outer structure is different. They are developed as per as their respective works. Okay, so these are differences in their outer structure. But if you observe the figure of these all limbs, then you can notice that there is a similarity in structure of bones and joints. Okay, there is a structure, there is a similarity in structure of bones and joints in organs of each of them. Look carefully. This similarities indicates that those animals may have common ancestors. So this is the second evidence of theory of evolution. Once again, morphologically, these organs are looking very different, but when we study it anatomically, we see there the similarity in structure of bones and joints in organ. Each of them are very similar, and that indicates that they all are having a same ancestor. So this is the second evidence of evolution. Which one is that? Anatomical evidence. Now the third evidence, vestigial organ. Now what is the definition of vestigial organ? Degenerated and underdeveloped. Degenerated and underdeveloped useless organ of organisms are called vestigial organs. Which organs? Degenerated and underdeveloped. अविकसित किंवा विकसनशील असलेले. जे ऑर्गॅनिझम मधले जे ऑर्गन असतात त्यांना आपण वेस्टेजल ऑर्गन म्हणतो. इन लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम, sudden development of new tissue or new organism or new organs for living organism in changing environment is not possible as the environment goes on change. With the changing of environment, sudden changes or sudden formation or sudden development of new tissue, new cell, new organs according to changing in environment is not possible. In such condition, existing organs undergo in gradual changes. आहे तेच organ gradual changes मध्ये जातात. Mostly a specific structure in a body, mostly these existing organs or structure of these existing organs in body is useful under such situation. त्याच सिच्युएशनला, त्या चेंजिंग सिच्युएशनला हे कधी कधी युजफुल होतात. However, some structures undergo different situation may become useless. पण एखाद्या परिस्थितीला हे चेंजेस सूट होतात किंवा युजफुल होतात, पण दुसऱ्या परिस्थितीमध्ये अंडर अ different situation they may become useless or you're harmful. According to change in environment, existing असलेले ऑर्गन ग्रॅज्युअल चेंज त्याच्यामध्ये दिसून येतो. Sometimes they are useful in some condition but they are harmful or unuseful in another condition. मग असं जर अनयुजफुल झालं तर that structure goes on degenerate. harmful दिसायला लागलं तर degenerate व्हायला लागतात. According to the principle of natural selection. Natural selection च्या प्रिन्सिपलने ते degenerate व्हायला लागतात. But that process takes thousands of years. Okay. Now, one more thing is that any organ which is useful in any condition or some specific condition in some organisms, they are not useful in other organisms. Okay. So where there they are not useful, degenerate of such organs comes under process. And we have some examples about it. Now this is the first example. In picture, appendix is shown. We found that organ in human body also. In human body, it is not useful. It is a vestigial organ here. But some other animals, that is animals like ruminants, this appendix is useful in ruminant. Okay. So this organ is useful in ruminant animal, but it is not useful or useless to human. So it is a vestigial organ in a human body. Like that, ear muscles, which are used in a movement of a ear pinna. These are useful in monkey for their movement of ear pinna. But it is found in man also, human also. There is no any use of ear muscles in human body. but still it is present. The other one is a wisdom teeth. These organs are also the vestigial organ in human body. Then the next picture is a tailbone, where tail is situated or banded. Now there is no need human body of a tail. It is needed in monkey, but still nowadays we have a tailbone. All these organs are in our body which are vestigial. What they indicates that we have these organs like as ruminant, monkey. It indicates that the monkey or ruminant animals and human, all they are having a common ancestors. Is it clear? So this is the very important evidence of evolution. The fourth important evidence of evolution is a paleontological evidence. In that study, we have to study about the fossils. Now, what is meant by fossil? Large number of organisms get buried due to disaster like flood, earthquake, volcano, and remnants and impressions of such organisms remain preserved underground. These are called fossils. Earthquake, फ्लड यासारखे जे डिझास्टर होतात त्याच्यामुळे या ऑर्गॅनिझमचे ऑर्गॅनिझम्स बरीड होतात अंडरग्राउंड बरीड होतात आणि त्या ठिकाणी त्यांचे काय राहतात शिल्लक त्यांचे रिमेनंट्स आणि इम्प्रेशन्स राहतात त्यांचे ठसे आणि अवशेष शिल्लक राहतात यांना आपण फॉसिल्स असं म्हणतो. या अशा प्रकारच्या फॉसिलचा स्टडी is a very important aspect of study of evolution. कारण या प्रकारच्या फॉसिलचा स्टडी आपण यापूर्वी सुद्धा पाठीमागच्या इयत्तांमध्ये पाहिला होता. या फिगर मध्ये इन दिस फिगर sedimentary rocks and fossils layers तिथे दाखवलेले आहेत. Just look the below region. There is only starfish and mollusca. Okay. वरचा जो लेयर आहे इन अबो लेयर ओनली वी आर वॉचिंग देअर फिश. त्याच्यावरती काही एम्फिबियन्स आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतात. त्याच्यावर रेप्टाइल्स पाहायला मिळतात आणि त्याच्यावर बर्ड्स आणि मॅमल्स पाहायला मिळतात. व्हॉट दिस इंडिकेट? दिस इंडिकेट्स दॅट the lowest or deep layer only shows the fossil of these invertebrate animals, while in above layers we are watching the fossils of reptiles, birds, mammals, all that. That means all these above ruminant, all these above animals have been developed from invertebrate animals. And this is the very important study we have seen in the previous standard. One more study is there, that is carbon dating method study. Carbon consumption of animals and plants stop after their death. शरीरामध्ये कार्बन कंजम्पशन डेथ नंतर थांबतं. इज इट क्लिअर? जोपर्यंत एखादा ऑर्गॅनिझम लाईव्ह आहे तोपर्यंत त्याच्या शरीरामध्ये कार्बन कंजम्पशन चालू असतं. आफ्टर डेथ इट स्टॉप्स. Now there are two types of carbon in the living organism, carbon 12 and carbon 14. Here carbon 14 is a radioactive element, while carbon 12 is a non-radioactive element. After death, carbon 14 start decaying, but carbon 14, carbon 12, which is non-radioactive, it remains constant. So therefore, carbon 14 changes after death, carbon 12 not changing because it is non-radioactive. Therefore, the ratio of carbon 14 and carbon 12 goes to change after death. In live condition, the ratio is about 1 is to 1.35 into 10 raised to 12. But after death, it goes to change. And this method is called carbon dating method. This was invented by Willard Libby in 1954, and for such a valuable invention, he got Nobel Prize in 1960. This carbon dating method is very useful in paleontology because with the help of this carbon dating method, we can determine the age of human fossils and manuscripts. Once the age of fossil have been determined by this technique, it is very easy to deduce the information about all living organisms of that era. According to that study, it seems that या स्टडीनं असं आम्हाला कळतं की all vertebrates have been slowly originated from non-vertebrates because the carbon dating age of non-vertebrate is more than carbon dating age of vertebrates. Vertebrates carbon dating age हे कमी आहे आणि नॉन वर्टिब्रेट्स carbon dating age जास्त आहे. So invertebrates are ancestors of vertebrates. Okay, that is we have originated from same ancestor, and that is the very important evidence of evolution. This is one more important evidence of evolution, that is connecting links. Some plants and animals show some morphological character by which they can be related to different groups. Hence, these animals and plants are called as connecting links of two groups. Now here, one of the example, that is Peripatus. This Peripatus shows segmented body, thin cuticle, parapodia, all these characters of Annelida. While as this Peripatus showing tracheal respiration and upper circulatory system, which are the characters of Arthropoda. So Peripatus is the animal which is a connecting link between Annelida and Arthropoda. Duckbill platypus is one of the most example. It shows it lays the eggs, which is the character of reptiles, while as duckbill having mammary glands and hair on his body, that is the character of mammals. So the duckbill platypus is the connecting link between reptiles and mammals. Lungfish. It performs respiration by lungs. Okay. In amphibians also, it performs the respiration of lungs by lungs. Amphibians, reptiles, mammals, all they are perform their respiration by lungs. So we can say that they are developed or they are evolved from the fish. One more picture I am showing here. This is the picture of a peripatus, which is a connecting link of Annelida and Arthropoda. This is the second picture. Duckbill platypus is a connecting link between reptiles and mammals. While as this is the ancestor of all other classes, that is amphibian, reptiles, mammals. Okay. So this is very important evidence of connecting links. Now the last one, that is embryological evidence. Now in that study, we noticed that in the initial stage of embryo, we see some similarities, but after next stage, that is in other stage, gradual changes we see there. So due to that initial similarities, we can say that all the embryos are same in initial stage. So we can say that we all are evolved from same ancestors. Look at this picture. Here there are similarities in the first stage but differentiation in other stages. Okay, all these are the evidence of evolution. Okay, याच्यावरती तुम्हाला क्वेश्चन्स असतो. राईट अ शॉर्ट नोट ऑन एव्हिडन्स ऑफ इव्होल्युशन. व्हिडिओ पुन्हा पुन्हा ऐका, केअरफुली ऐका, इतरांना शेअर करा, लाईक करा, चॅनलला सबस्क्राईब करा म्हणजे पुढचे व्हिडिओ मिळतील. ओके, हॅव अ गुड डे.